Hi, welcome to Hacker Chat. I'm your host, Kevin Poniatowski. Today we're going to talk about an attack that has been making its way up the charts. It's called Cross Site Request Forgery. Cross Site Request Forgery is an attack that tricks the victim's browser into performing an undesirable action on behalf of the victim. Some examples of this could be changing the victim's password, purchasing an item that the victim doesn't want, or worse, transferring funds out of the victim's bank account. This attack uses the functionality of the browser, actually uses the way the browser works against the victim. Once a user is authenticated by a website, that user's credentials are created and then stored, usually within a cookie on the user's hard drive. Now, whenever an action takes place, the browser is going to send those credentials back to the website automatically. Do you see what the problem is here? Cross-site request forgery is an attacker causing the browser to perform an undesirable action on behalf of the victim. Whenever an action takes place, the victim's credentials are automatically sent to the website. If the victim is currently authenticated by the website, there is no way that the browser can tell the difference between a valid action chosen by the user or a malicious action created by an attacker taking advantage of a cross-site request forgery vulnerability. So how does the attacker take advantage of this type of vulnerability? Imagine an online banking website like we have in our example here, insecurebank.com. Now, this website can perform a transfer of funds action by clicking on this URL address, insecurebank.com/transfer.do, account equals attacker, and amount equals 1,000. Now, no user is going to click on this URL address, so the attacker has another trick up their sleeve. The attacker can create an HTML formatted email that includes an image source tag. Now you look and see in this example, there's a URL address in this image source tag, insecurebank.com/transfer.do, account equals attacker, amount equals 1,000. We've seen this before. Now there's also a few other parameters here. Width equals 1, height equals 1, border equals 0. What's going on there? When a victim views this HTML formatted email, they're going to notice an error indicating that the browser was unable to load an image. What a surprise. But the browser still submits that transfer request that was included within the image source tag to insecurebank.com without requiring any interaction from the user. There are other HTML tags out there that can be used to perform this style of cross-site request forgery attack. An attacker could use a script tag. They could use an iframe tag. They could use any tag that allows for embedded URL addresses within them. These tags create an automatic HTTP request. That's the problem. It's automatic. And these requests could be partnered with a malicious action. JavaScript can also be used to perform cross-site request forgery attacks. Let's look at the example we have here. We have our script tag, and within that tag we're going to create an image object. Now, that image object has a field called source, and the attacker is going to set that malicious URL address to that source field. Now, when the image object preloads the image, it triggers the automatic HTTP request. So what are the conditions that allow cross-site request forgery to take place? Well, the first condition is we know there are certain HTML tags that result in an automatic HTTP request. We saw that from our example. The second condition is our browsers have no way of knowing if a resource referenced by an HTML tag is actually a legitimate image. In our example, there was no image. The third condition is that the loading of an image is going to happen regardless of where that image is located. An image can be located at superevilhacker.com and the browser is still going to attempt to load it. And finally, the fourth condition is that the code within many web applications performs security-sensitive operations in response to HTTP requests without validation of the user. They just take the credentials from the cookie, which are sent every time an event takes place. And we've seen that's not enough, that's not secure. So we've seen that Cross Site Request Forgery is a very powerful attack that takes advantage of the way our browsers work. Now, how can the average user protect themselves against this style of attack? And the answer is, they can't. It's up to the software developers who are writing the code for the web applications to defend us. And there are ways they can write the code to make it more secure. If you have any questions at all about Cross Site Request Forgery, please send me an email at the address that I provided. Again, this is Kevin Poniatowski. Thanks for watching Hacker Chat, and please stay safe.